Greetings, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Such a divine, absolute, and profound blessing to be with you right now in this magical moment. Twilight here in Asheville, North Carolina, what's sometimes known as the Magic Hour. As you're entering, if you could please share your name and where you're from, please. Thank you. And it's such a beautiful, amazing, magical, miraculous, spectacular time to be relaxed in the depth of the essence of who you are. It's such a magical, amazing, miraculous, spectacular time to be relaxed in the depth of the essence of who you are. To relax at the ground of being. To love yourself exactly, profoundly, absolutely as you are. To love this moment right now exactly, profoundly, resolutely as you are. As this moment is. To rest in a ground of being that is not dependent on the ever-changing temporary conditions. To be anchored in the essence of who you are, beyond the thoughts that are ever-changing, beyond the emotions that are ever-changing, beyond the physical sensations that are ever-changing. Beyond the external sensory perceptions that are ever-changing. Beyond the relationships that are ever-changing. Beyond the ideas about the future, ideas about the past that are ever-changing. To rest in the ground of being exactly who and what you are in the ever-present I am. And then we recognize and realize there's no greater joy, there's no greater abundance, there's no greater expanse, there's no greater freedom, there's no greater love, and there's no greater empowerment than resting in the profound joy of being. And there's a feeling that's so high, right? You could say, I feel so high. But that would presume that there's a low, right? High and low. There's a transcendence of all perception of duality. But we recognize and realize within the play of form, within the play of duality, that there's only one divine infinite light. And this one divine infinite light is the essence of which you are. It doesn't come or go. It doesn't appear or disappear. It's unshakable. It's unrelatable. And there's no drugs required. There's no alcohol required. There's no amount of money required. There's no material things required. There's no other required. There's nothing required. There's nothing required. Greetings, Nikki. It's like we got the Friday night UK in the house tonight. What was it, like midnight after midnight there, I think, perhaps. I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing on a Friday night than being in the depth of presence together. So this profound sense of being, this vast expanse, this infinite expanse without borders or limitations, vast infinite freedom, is what everyone is looking for. But people are looking so to speak, they're looking outward, looking for something in the external world of form. Yeah, a few people fall asleep listening to me talk. So, whatever works, whatever gives you the rest you need. It's really amazing that God is still cranking out human beings at this point of our evolution, so many who somehow still think that if they have lots and lots of material possessions and millions of dollars and maybe lots and lots of fame on top of that, that somehow, someday is going to make them feel happy. That's astonishing, isn't it? I mean, so many example after example after example of how it doesn't work. It's so obvious and clear. It's not the answer. And yet, God's still cranking out all these people that are like, searching for, if I can get this amount of money and this amount of thing, get this and that, and this. And then it becomes down to people, We've commodified human beings, so now if we get the right man or the right woman, then that's going to bring us the sense of something, some kind of fulfillment of some kind. The right kind of car, the right kind of house. Yeah, I live a super simple life, I would say. There's a term, minimalist. I would resonate with that term. But not from a place of lack. Not from a place of, oh, I have to like give this up, or I have to like, oh, I have to renounce this because everyone needs to have the same amount, or some kind of belief system or theory idea. It's not anything like that at all. There's no thinking about it. There's no thought process. There's such a profound sense of freedom, love, joy, bliss in being. So it's not that having less possessions is better than having a lot of possessions, or having a lot of possessions is better than having less possessions. It's that it actually doesn't really matter at all. Right? Abundance is a state of consciousness. Abundance is a state of consciousness. You can have $5 in your pocket and be in a state of consciousness that's abundant. You could have $100 million and be in a lack consciousness, be in a scarcity consciousness, be in a state of anxiety and worry and trepidation. Right? So it's an abundance consciousness. And if you haven't recognized and realized how to be in abundance consciousness, then whatever amount of possessions you have, not only will it not help with abundance consciousness, it'll make it worse. Because then there's more things to lose, when you're attached and identified with them. But when you're in an abundance consciousness, right, exactly, Nikki. Money doesn't buy happiness, be rich from the inside. When you're in abundance consciousness, then you're in the flow of life. You're in the flow. You're in the flow. So you openly receive all the money there is to receive, all the beautiful, wonderful, luxurious things there is to receive. You give all the money there is to give, all the wonderful, luxurious things there is to give. So I like this term currency for money. Currency. You're in the currency. Currency is like electricity. It's energy. You're in the energy. Are you in the energy? Are you in the energy? Flowing. The person who's trying to, who's trying to hoard is not in abundance consciousness. So, point is, whether or not any of that made sense, listen to this. Abundance is now. That's the point. Abundance is now. It's not in the future. It's not in the past. Abundance is now. Abundance is a consciousness. It's a realization of the essence of who you are, of the absolute self. And it's resting in this infinite abundance. Abundance is like vast space, right? So when we have all these thoughts that we're identifying with and attaching ourselves to, and all these belief systems that we're identifying with and attaching ourselves to, then we become so narrow. You become so narrow. You could be living in a mansion but feel like you're in a prison inside because of all the belief systems and stories that you've attached and identified yourself with. You feel so trapped inside, And a bigger house isn't going to solve that or resolve that. However, when you wake up to the essence of who you are, and you no longer become attached or identified with any story of yourself or any belief system of yourself, there's this vast opening. Vast opening. Abundance without limitation. You are abundance itself. You are the infinite essence of anything being possible without limitation. That's the essence of who we are. And then the question is, can we anchor ourselves in this essence of who we are without being attached and identified to the story or belief that creates the illusionary sense of a separate self, also known as the ego. Ego is used to navigate through the world of time and space, but it's not the essence of who we are. And it's not where the abundance consciousness and the vast freedom and the vast love and the vast sense of peace, profound empowerment lies. The sense of direct, intuitive, creative intelligence lies. When we get quiet, present, we're able to rest in the essence of who and what we are. And these videos are here to support us, to support you, the observer, the listener, the watcher, the viewer, in recognizing and realizing who you are and remembering who you are, and then being a creative, authentic, unique expression in the world of this vast essence, brought into this world of time and space, the human dimension, which will make the human dimension much more playful and fun. We realize this essence, this ground of being, this depth of love, of what is an unconditional relationship with this moment right now. I love this time of day. You can see the sun just fading out of the trees back here. It's special to share it with you. Is money, Jane says, currency as inflow? Is money a symbol of love energy? Don't really know what you mean by love energy, but money is a distorted form of currency because it's created by the banking system. However, you can certainly use it in a way that creates love. That is expression of love. There's a donate button actually on this video, which you could use as an expression of love to support the continuation of these videos, right? So money can certainly be used in ways to further things that bring more love and peace and freedom and creativity and joy and beauty into the world. Including loving yourself. Money can be used to support loving yourself. And as we evolve in our consciousness, we'll have a more enlightened way, a more awakened way of communicating reciprocity of exchange. Thank you all so much for being here. Does anyone else have any questions before we go? Any comments? Anything you want to share? The only thing you can take with you is what you came from. Love, says Nikki. Yes. That's a good note to end on. Appreciate, love you all so much. Stay tuned, stay locked, have a great weekend. See you in the next now.